Today's episode, we are making Bachi kisses. If you like Bachi chocolates and you love cookies or biscuits, you're gonna love these. They are perfect. It's a hazelnut cookie or biscuit, and I'm filling it with Nutella in the middle. Let's get into it. All right, are we good? The recipe, Bachi di Dama. Bachi di Dama. Bachi di Dama. Hello, welcome back everybody. I'm Marilyn from Rosanna's Casa, and today we are baking. It is coming up to Christmas here. I don't know when you're watching this, if you're watching it as the episode drops. It's coming up to Christmas, so hello anxiety. If you are watching this in the future, Back to the Future style, it's coming up to Christmas. Don't know what else to say. Anyway, for me, Easter, Christmas, it's all about baking, and it's a tradition, I suppose, from all our culture. We gift a lot of handmade biscuits, cookies, as some people would say. We gift them as gifts because what else do you give people that have everything? In my opinion, you make them food and everyone is happy. So if you have been following me for a long time, you would have saw at Easter time, I did an assortment cookie box and I included these Bachi di Dama. Really sorry if I don't pronounce that correctly. Little Bachi cookies in there. So essentially it is this, looks like a melting moment or a yo-yo where there's two little biscuits and they're wedged together. They're glued together with, I'm using Nutella. You could use melted chocolate, whatever you fancy, in my opinion. I'm using Nutella because it's just delicious. I say Nutella. In here in Australia, we say Nutella. I know Americans say Nutella. Tomatoes, tomatoes. We all know it's universal language. It's delicious. So I'm going to flip the camera around. I'll take you through the ingredients. It comes together pretty quickly. I have my oven preheating at 180 Celsius. I have now this oven that has two different types of settings. There is a fan bake and a bake. I've got it on the bake setting. When I'm making dessert, I like to cook on bake. So if you have that option, use that. If you don't, because my inside oven just have literally 3 settings, which is crap, burn, and doesn't work. No, I'm just joking. Fan bake, just put it at 180, but the time might alter a little bit. So I'll take you through that when we get to that point. Apart from that, let's bake. I'm so excited. These are delicious. You are going to love them. Everyone that tried them gave them a 10 out of 10. So I hope that you also love them as much as I love making them and other people like eating them. Let's run through the ingredients. So I have my stand mixer with the paddle attachment. You could use hand beaters in a bowl, but if you have this, use this. It's amazing. Plug to Nutella or Nutella. 2 egg yolks. We have some unsweetened cacao or cocoa powder. I'm going to use a pinch of salt. I have icing sugar, plain flour. I'm just using plain flour, but you can use the flour that says for pastries and biscuits on there. I'm going to add a bit of vanilla bean paste. This is hazelnut meal. I love hazelnut meal. This makes or breaks the cookie. Okay, so if you don't have it at home, go out and buy it, because if you replace this with either more flour or almond meal, you're not going to get the same taste. So that's ground hazelnut meal and a ton of unsalted butter. And that's pretty much it. So let's get started. All right, into the stand mixer, we're going to add in our butter. I've just cubed it. Well, not cubed it, but broken it up a little bit. So there's about 300 grams. Look, guys, we're not, just turn a blind eye at how much butter and sugar we're using. It's not going to be a cookie or a biscuit without a heap of sugar and butter. To that, I'm going to add in my icing sugar, and we're going to beat this on medium speed for about 3 minutes or so until it is light and fluffy. All right, so that was actually only 2 minutes. Be nice and light and fluffy. If this is not looking like that, that means that your butter was too firm, wasn't softened enough. So definitely soften it up a little bit. Make sure that, in winter, obviously it takes a little bit longer. We're going to add in our egg yolks. There's 2 of those. So let's add that. We are going to add in just a little bit of vanilla bean. Let's say a teaspoon. Who actually measures? And we're going to add in our plain flour first. Do not overbeat it. We're just going to beat it for a few seconds just until this kind of combines on a low speed. All right, so it's still sort of crumbly, which is okay. I am going to add at this point the hazelnut meal, okay, and the cacao, tomatoes, however you wish, if it wants to come out. Oh my gosh, it's not enough. This is going to give a little bit of color. You can use dark cacao to give it more an in-depth color, but I'm just using regular. I love Hershey's cacao personally. I get it from Costco here in Australia. So we're going to combine this. I'm going to let you know that if this is a bit dry, we're going to add a couple of teaspoons of cold tap water just so that the dough comes together. All right, see, it's a little bit. I'm going to just show you first, actually. See, it's not too bad, but I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of cold tap water. We don't want it to be too loose. Oh, sorry. We don't want it to be, see, it's still a little bit crumbly. We want it to come together. So I'm just going to add a couple of teaspoons of cold tap water. And then I'll show you what consistency we want it to look like. See how it's just come together? Beautiful. We just don't want it to look like breadcrumbs, essentially. But we are, let me just show you. See how it comes together? Because we're going to just take a teaspoon at a time and roll them into balls. Now, you do not need to chill the cookie mixture. You can definitely, literally from the mixing to rolling straight on a lined baking sheet, pan or tray and into the oven. If the mixture is too soft, the cookies are definitely going to crumble. So I'm just letting you know, it depends on your room temperature. I know sometimes like here in Australia, Christmas time, it is so hot. I bake with the air conditioning on personally. But if you feel like in between the bakes, it is like this mixture is becoming too soft, then just put it in the fridge in between each bake. Anyway, that was a long-winded way of explaining that. And you can also do this ahead of time and chill it in the fridge the night before you bake. Just be sure to take it out to allow the mixture to come down to, I wouldn't say exactly room temperature, a little bit more cooler than room temperature before you bake it. All right, now let's get on to rolling. I like the size 2 teaspoons. So we're going to get 2 teaspoons, roll them and place them on a lined baking tray. And we're going to bake them, for me, the magic number is about 10 minutes. I just want to let you know that when you're baking cookies, you take them out of the oven. If you are not a pro, not a pro, but if you are new to sort of baking and you look at them and you've taken them out of the oven at the 10-minute mark and think, oh, they're not golden, they still feel soft, that's normal because as soon as they cool down, they will harden up. So I like to do 10 minutes. That's because my oven, this new oven, because my last one blew up, as you guys long-term followers would know, this oven bakes well. So 10 minutes it is. If you have an oven that I feel like everyone knows their oven. You know if it runs too hot. If it runs too hot, lessen the time. If it takes forever to cook, maybe add on a couple of minutes. Always maybe do a batch at the 10-minute mark, take it out, let it cool down for about 30 or so minutes, try them. If you feel like they're too raw on the center, then you know the next tray. You need to add a couple of minutes and vice versa. Anyway, 2 centimeters. The first time I did this, I actually made them in like 1 tablespoon balls. Jeez, I can't even talk today. Sorry, guys. And whilst they looked amazing and they were big, they're just a bit too big to get your mouth over. And don't forget, we're going to literally bake these 2, add Nutella and wedge them. So they're going to be that size. So, you know, it's 2 biscuits and it's not 1. I mean, hey, look, if you want to dodge the icing mixture in the middle, the melted chocolate or the Nutella, you could definitely just serve these as is. Not as good, in my opinion, but still delicious. Anywho, all right, I'm going to roll these out. I'll put them into the oven. I'm fairly sure it was 10 minutes. Well, let's just double check. I will let you know. It will be in the recipe. I'll add the recipe into my Sweets and Treats ebook that you can get the link for below. And I would love to know if you guys make these. I You know what? I actually think that I'm going to add in the recipe dark cacao because these look gorgeous. I mean, they're more pale, but I feel like a Butchie is dark chocolate, dark looking. So I'm going to add dark cacao into the recipe for you guys online. But by all means, it's just for visual purposes. Anyway, all right, let's get these baking and I'll take them out of the oven and show you what they look like. I want to show you these right out of the oven. See how there's a little bit of crack appearing there? That is fine. Oh, geez, got to be gentle with that. Because as soon as they cool down, they will look like this. So I baked this tray because it's quite big for 12 minutes. And this for 11 and this for 10. And I'll let you know which one is perfect. Anyway, they're all pretty perfect to me. I cannot wait. So as soon as these cool down, I'm going to give it 30 minutes to like really, really cool down before we wedge them with some Nutella. If you are desperate and you add, you know, chocolate or Nutella in the middle of these now, it will just ooze and melt everywhere and it just becomes unpleasant. These have cooled down for a minimum of 30 minutes. Look at them, gorgeous. Let's look at it compared to my palm. You want them to be, this was 2 teaspoons. When we wedge them, they'll be the perfect size, probably 2 or 3 mouthfuls. You can melt some dark chocolate and wedge it in between. I'm going to go straight in with a bit of Nutella as such. Oh my God, it's messy. Half a teaspoon. Oh, that was a little bit difficult. Jeez. And that's it. Just wedge the 2 together. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to pop them in here. The airtight. I've just got a container because I am going to freeze them. I'm going to freeze them. You can freeze them for up to 3 months. And then when you want to gift them or consume them, you just pop it into the fridge overnight. And that's it. Beautiful. That's it. Let these set for a bit. And there you have it. You could definitely add, if you want to go next level, you could add some extra crushed hazelnuts on top of that Nutella or melted dark chocolate to give it that extra Butchie flavour. It's not necessary. It's up to you. You could dust this off with some icing sugar, which I will as soon as they've all kind of lined up in here. And that's all. How beautiful. I hope that you love them. I hope you give them a go. I will link up the ebook in the show notes if you wanted to purchase it to get the full recipe. They make the perfect gift. They make the perfect little snack if you want to make them at home. This is something that I don't often do. Baking is therapy. And I have to say this recipe is very perfect. I do say so myself. Anyway, enjoy this. I'm going to continue doing this with a cup of coffee because it's therapy and I'll get back into it. The hardest thing in this is not eating that whole tub of Nutella. Oh my God, I love it so much. I wish I had some crushed hazelnuts to put in the middle. I don't want to put almond meal. It needs that crunchy texture.